Bad Souls 2 has an insane amount of healing related items. 25 to be exact. But because I hate myself, I decided to try a run where I can't use any of the healing items previously mentioned to see if it's true that Dark Souls 2 is as bad as generic game journalists say it is. This means no drinking Estus, no popping crystals like your uncle back in Portland, and no rings that regenerate health. Nothing. Dark Souls 2 is notorious for having an absurd amount of enemies, so this surely will be fun. I also made the stupid decision to avoid the Ring of Bindings as much as possible, just to make the run that more painful. Please consider subscribing as I am approaching 13,000 subs, and it would definitely help me heal my mental health after this incredible, torturous and long run. Which I obviously went into without proper planning because why would I do that? Now, without further ado, let's die and cry together. Ah, the things betwixt. Feels good to be back.
Oh my, your face.
An undead has come to play.
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
I picked up the Knight class as it's the class that starts with the most health, meaning I could withstand any unlawful beating done to me. Bonfire Ascetic as a gift from God himself Miyazaki, and after making myself Hollywood beauty standard worthy, I kissed grandma goodbye. Wow, the splendid village of Majula. After picking up some of the items laying around, I made my way towards the Forest of Fallen Giants, where I waited for the slowest door in history to open. Okay, the secret now is to never get hit. God damn it! I cleared the first area and made my way to the infamous courtyard with the Sleeping Hollow. I cleared all the enemies out in order to walk through the fog door undisturbed. I kind of forgot how awful the lock-on system in this game is. Luckily though, I managed to survive, but faced my first death right after lighting our first bonfire. Yeah, you must be proud of your actions, aren't you, Brian? I wanted to show off some skills by using the firebombs, but failed miserably, so I took the traditional dweeb route. Oh, I totally need to level up ADP as soon as possible. Anyways, after clearing the hollow soldiers in the ballista room, I opened up a farting chest for a titanite shard, killed everybody in the next room after they failed to laugh at my knock-knock joke, and got my hands on the life ring as well as the large titanite shard. I massacred poor Pate for his ring of thorns because I figured if I get hit, might as well deal some damage when it happens, and needless to say, it was a total failure of a strategy. I then went lizard hunting in the room above the bonfire and obtained the 2 tit shards. After buying the key from Melentia, I opened up Leningrath's workshop. I bought the battle axe for 1500 buckaroonies and upgraded to +2, and I was ready to face off the last giant butthole. He stomped me with his giant feet, but the joke's on him because I'm actually into that. Okay, a couple more hits and, well, this is embarrassing. I came back, killed the boss and obtained the soldier key like nothing happened.
Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Seek misery, for misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. Are you the next monarch?
Of course I am. She then handed me a bottle of booze, but I'm sorry lady, real men don't drink. They go to the gym and flex their muscles in front of other men. I dumped all of my souls on ADP, talked to a desperate man.
I want to die.
Obtained a pretty useless ring that gives you like 2 extra HP points or something. And made my way to Hyde's tower. Counted 6 steps and turned the Dragon Rider into the Dragon Diver. Used the extra souls to further increase my ADP, and turned the Pursuer into a kebab and got the Ring of Blades as prize for my cooking skills. One big factor of this run will be dealing as much damage as possible, because enemies can't hurt you if they are already dead. A random bird came to pick me up and unceremoniously dropped me off in the Lost Bastille. I got the Dull Ember, which is another crucial item for the run, as well as the human effigy. Quickly leveled up before venturing through the Lost Bastille. I got the large titanite shard, the fragrant branch before being ambushed by this guy again. Easily whipped his ass for the Twinkling Titanite. I also had to kill 3 puppies before realizing I didn't have enough HP to survive this ballista guy waiting for me to climb the ladder, so I homeward boned my ass out of there like a little bitch. Picked up the antiquated key.
I don't know you, and you don't know me.
I participated in a terrorist attack. Picked up everything inside the chest. Spoke to the most polite character in Drangleic.
You imbecile.
Upgraded my battle axe to +5, and I iced an innocent bystander and got my ass completely handed to me by the ruined sentinels. So I decided to take a different approach. I punched a woman in the face as hard as I could and made my way to Pirate Land. I ran through most of the area because who wants to play Dark Souls 2? The Flexile Sentry was an easy first attempt, and man, I am so glad I dumped all of those souls into ADP.
The curse is a part of life itself. No one will ever be rid of it. And so there is only one choice. To await a worthy monarch. A monarch who can shoulder your burden.
Epstein Island.
It wasn't a fun time. Who the fuck thought putting 12 dogs, 3 snipers, and a pursuer all in one area that is smaller than Andrew Tate's penis was a good idea? So instead I ran for my life, opened the first door, exited the courtyard. I was so close at getting through when unfortunately this ballista man, who isn't like the stormtroopers in Star Wars because
This motherfucker don't miss.
I fell from the ladder and got nuke bombed like I was a city in Japan. I got my revenge, picked up the twin blade, took an elevator that looked more like something that belongs into a sex shop, and freed up this guy, blocking the bonfire.
I am stiff.
Yeah, I don't really care, buddy.
Feeble, cursed one.
Ho got real mad because I didn't fancy anything he was offering. Jesus. After lighting the next bonfire and opening the passage, it was time to put my build to the test with the Lost Sinner. And this was actually really doable. Unfortunately though, in both of my attempts, I died right at the end of the fight, when she was like one hit away from meeting God.
I want to die.
So my journey to become stronger had begun. First of all, I gave some clothes to Rosalia, and yes, I did only give her a pair of gloves because I think she really looks good with them. Then I went through the Shaded Woods, where I picked up all of the souls and items laying around, arrived at the Shaded Ruins, and faced off Sexy Scorpion Lady, which is definitely not a ripoff of the Hot Spider Lady from the first game. First try went poorly because I suck. I mean, this game sucks. However, in the follow-up attempt, I had a really awful start, but somehow managed to kill her with like 2 HP left on my health bar. Since I picked up the Black Knight halberd back in the Shaded Ruins, and because I actually never used it in this game, I actually wanted to try it out. Also, it's upgradable with Twinkling Titanites, which are easily obtainable in the Shaded Ruins using some bonfire settings. I began pouring souls into meeting the halberd's requirement, but I was a bit far off, so I went back to the Lost Sinner for my third and successful attempt. This was another one of those fights where I sucked really bad at the beginning, but managed to turn it around with just the slightest amount of health. With the Sinner down, I had enough souls to level up and wield the halberd. I burnt an ascetic in the Shaded Ruins to get 3 more Twinkling Titanites, killed Nashka once again, quickly backtracked to the Lost Bastille to pick up the ascetic I missed, burnt it once again, and got enough twinks to +4 my halberd. I decided to use the Ruined Sentinels to test the sharpness of my weapon, and I gotta say, it's pretty sharp. Though I would have to attack from a certain distance in order to make the most out of the weapon. Next stop, Huntsman Cove. A place riddled with ambushes, poison, and annoying archers that somehow never miss. This is one of the 2 places where I actually had to use Dark Souls 2's infamous despawning enemies mechanic. If you didn't know this, in Dark Souls 2, if you kill an enemy enough times, it will stop spawning. Try and guess in the comments in what other area I had to use this mechanic to get passed through. 5 points to Gryffindor if you guessed correctly. Getting to the skeletons with as much health as possible was crucial, as this is a gank fight in which is very difficult to avoid damage. Fortunately, the spin to win running attack of the halberd was perfect for this fight, and also very satisfying. Once our bony friends were taken care of, I spoke to Quan, definitely because of what she sells and for no other reason. And I then made my way through the area, where I got rid of the pyromancers because they are very dangerous and for no other reason. I still can't believe I actually died to Covetous Demon, corrected my mistake, and set fire to iron because that is totally how it works. I then had to fight a sexy serpent lady, which is totally different from the scorpion lady because snakes are reptiles. I had a terrible beginning starting from outside the fog door. Then I took some unnecessary hits to my face and had to get through the rest of the fight no hitting the snake lady who kept trying to give me head. All went well though.
Bearer of the curse. Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away.
Well, at least I was able to kill Sharon before deciding to go somewhere else because fuck the Iron Keep. So I made my way to Brightstone Seldora and died to the congregation. Like, I'm just dying to every easy boss of the game in this run. I'm not embarrassed at all, but you should if you're watching this video. Anyways, once I was able to take down the best boss in the game, I got some more Twinkling Titanites because, again, power is all that matters in this run. I paid a visit to dear Freya and turned her into a dead Freya. Now we have 2 Lord Souls in our pocket. Since I was leaving Iron Keep for last, I bought the cat ring from the talking cat and dropped into the abyss. The gutter was the gutter. I would have to be extra careful not to get poisoned because that would mean certain death, and trust me when I say that it wasn't as easy as it sounds. Finally, I got through this jump without getting farted on and I reached the bonfire. And then I made it to Black Gulch shortly after. I always dreamt of another poison infested area after just finishing getting through another poison infested area. This truly is the Souls game of all time. You gotta love the commitment. Getting poisoned in the run back to the boss meant I would have to fight the Rotten hit list, and since I suck, the game sucks, well, I sacrificed another branch to unlock the bonfire closer to the fog door, and since I wasn't going to waste a human effigy for this boss, I fought it with half of my HP. I almost died because of him exploding with the power of evil, but ultimately was able to take the beast down. And now to the worst area of the game. As some of you probably guessed, I had to kill every enemy over and over in order to make the first half of the area somewhat possible. This was one of the most annoying, rage-inducing, mind-numbing activities I ever had to do in this game. Finally, after hours of trying and failing, I made it through. I even used the guillotine to kill the Ninja Turtle, but nearly forgot about the fire statues and almost paid the price for it. But finally, I reached the bonfire and I was free. Free from this place because thank God the area boss is a total pushover. But unfortunately, my adventure here in Iron Keep wasn't finished, because now I had to deal with a giant metal robot with a butthole on his face, which isn't even the worst part because it can continuously drain my HP with the warmth of his heart. God bless you, Mr. Tanimura. Well, the secret here was to not get hit at all. Who could have imagined? I then killed the pursuer that spawns in the area once you defeat Smelter Demon and got my hands on the Ring of Blades +1. Now that I collected all of the 4 old ones, I could access the Shrine of Winter.
The sign you bear will drain your very souls. And without souls, you will turn hollow. Stay strong. Do not lose hope. Even when you have precious little time. For when the undead dies, it is never truly dead, but only one step closer to hollowing. Not all undead are hollows, but all hollows were once undead. Perhaps you will be the next to rule. The soul and the curse are one and the same. Your soul has grown stronger still. I only hope it brings you what you wish.
Finally, I made my way to Drangleic Castle, made it to the bonfire, picked up the twinkling titanite found in the trap room for our next boss. The fight here consisted in baiting the first dragon rider to break the structure and get Robin Hood over here to fall. The archer guy has way less health and killing him makes soloing the main dragon rider much easier, so he had to be the first target. Once the duo was taken down, I got the key to the King's Passage and I spent some time with pretty boy over here. Wow, so shiny. For this fight, I had to visit Gavlan to buy some rotten pine resins, upgraded the twin blade to +10, and used the multi-hits combo from its moveset to poison the Looking Glass Knight as fast as possible. This actually worked like a charm. Wow, I conceived the strategy and it actually worked? It's probably gonna snow tomorrow, guys. And just like that, the shiny armor boy went down before he could even bring out his first summon. Then I went and took a fat dump and this happened. I picked up the bonfire ascetics before taking the elevator down straight to hell. In order to prepare for the Shrine of Amana, I traveled back to Majula and upgraded the lightning shortbow. This actually makes the area way more bearable. I just had to take things slowly. I love how bad the animations of NPCs are when you look at them from afar. Those 2 frames per second truly make you feel like you're in the world of Drangleic. The twin blade resulted in being very useful for finishing the enemies left thanks to its speed and staggering potential. And I continued sniping everyone on sight like a school shooter. This guy is fucking trolling me, right? I nearly got ambushed and killed, but I managed to recover because I am god tier level at this game and finally crossed the fog door to salvation. Way easier than Iron Keep. Honestly, Shrine of Amana isn't even that bad. Just use a bow, guys. Seaman of Dong, also known as Kermit the Frog, is the easiest endgame boss. I just used some rotten pine resins to poison his ugly ass, watched his health crumble before finishing him with a nice combo to his face. Then I arrived in the Undead Crypt and damn Aldia, no need to bust in my face like that. I would prefer you do that after taking me out for dinner or something. I skipped all of his dialogue because who cares about carefully crafted lore that explains what the hell I'm doing. I struck a conversation with this edgelord here and bought all of the human effigies he was selling. I unlocked the shortcut and proceeded to get absolutely ruined by Belstad. So I fully upgraded the Black Knight halberd and this helped until it didn't. How is he still alive exactly? Finally, on my 3rd attempt, the Royal Tard went down. I used the souls to level up some more before getting my ass cooked by a flying chicken.
Come on over here. Come on over here. No, you flipped me off. Come on, coward. No. Come on. You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
Finally, I chopped him up like the plank of wood he is. Then I spoke to an even bigger chicken, visited the memory of Jai? I think I pronounced that right, but got caught in the middle of the crossfire like a World War I soldier casually walking through the no man's land. I melted the Giant Lord, which is just a swaggier version of the last giant, only now he wears pants. Wow, so creative. And since the original Godskin duo were literally going to be torture, I figured I'd start going through the DLC. So I spoke to Gilligan and bought the most expensive ladder ever made. Jesus Christ, I hate late stage capitalism. I managed to get my hands on the Sunken King DLC key and travel to Shova to begin this nightmare. This is the point of the game where I truly started questioning my reasoning for torturing myself this way. And my reasoning is you. So please, go ahead and drop me a like. This was also the point where I really missed those sweet, sweet life gems. I was craving them like an addict, desperately resisting the temptation of saying fuck this. I died and died again, but slowly I was progressing through. I managed to light the first bonfire. What the hell is happening here? I have died so many times I lost count. Well, eventually I was able to put my hands on my first objective, the Flint's Ring, which gives up to 50 more AR to low vitality builds. I almost had my hands on the Dragon Talon. I could feel it in my hands already and I died. But thanks to RNGesus, I managed to get it on my next attempt. I killed Jester Thomas, who is apparently the dumbest NPC in the game. Finally unlocked the rest of the area. I found a super secret bonfire that is not that super secret anymore, and I began throwing myself at Elana like a rabid dog. With the Queen of Mud finally taken care of, I attempted to defeat the stinkiest dragon of all time. But it was clear I wasn't ready for this fight just yet, meaning I needed souls to upgrade my vigor so I could withstand more than a couple of wet farts on my elbow. So I visited the Godskin duo again, and this time I managed to win. I was dealing enough damage to absolutely ruin the Watcher and used the resurrection animation to finish the Fender. Then I traveled back to the Forest of Fallen Giant Buttholes, where I got nuked out of existence, straight into Bad Souls 3. I barely made it to the Iron Key and got my bony ass into Broom Tower. Sorry, but I don't talk to Genova witnesses. With the Fume Knight dead, I could level up some more before venturing into the rest of the giant memories, including the dragon one, and decided to kill the giant Pickle King, which is a very easy fight, just stand behind his left leg. Dark Souls 2's boss design, everybody. Let's give it a round of applause.
Seeker of fire, coveter of the throne.
Who the fuck are you?
I am Vendrick, ruler of Drangleic.
Now, finally, I had the survivability necessary to defeat the giant fart lizard. And this fight is so annoying because Sin is nothing but an annoying staller who will fly in the air for 30 minutes right when he is one bloody hit away from death to keep throwing shit balls in your direction which leave a lingering poison cloud all over the arena. Finally, I slashed him with my Kingdom Hearts reference sword, used the souls to upgrade my stamina, and I was ready for the third and last DLC, which was also the hardest. I seriously thought of quitting the DLC and just finish the run right here, but no. I have a moral obligation towards my viewers to suffer as much as possible, and so I pressed on. I managed to get my hands on the eyes that will allow me to see Alva, an invisible cat that was apparently the pet of some rich elite guy who probably visited Epstein Island too many times during his lifetime, and there it began the worst 2 hours of my life. The worst 2 hours of my life until now, mind you. It's been a long time since I last had to fight this overgrown cat, so naturally I was super rusty. Also, having a limited amount of hits I can take played a major role in this mess. It took so long, in fact, that during my winning attempt, my halberd broke, and as you can see, it's not like I had enough health to withstand getting hit. So I settled for the first weapon available, which was my +6 battle axe. Unfortunately, it was enough to finish her off. I then spoke to a crazy cat lady, then found all of the Elam Lois Knight who helped me with the Ivory King fight. And after navigating through one of the most painful areas in the game, finally, I was ready to drop down in the real, true pits of hell to fight the biggest virgin since Nick Fuentes. This boss fight was the worst. No hitting the first phase was the most difficult thing ever, meaning every time I could make it to the actual boss phase, I would have just the slightest amount of health and would die in one hit. I figured I needed to be a bit stronger, so I got a +10 rapier and absolutely melted Nashandra for some sweet souls. Then I burnt a bonfire aesthetic in Drangleic Castle in order to spawn the double pursuer fight for the Ring of Blades +2, where I was having a bit of trouble in handling both at the same time without healing. So I waited for one of them to do a long animation attack and exited the room. This makes the other pursuer despawn, making the fight way easier. Yeah, that's right, run away you coward. Finally, I got my hands on the Ring of Blades +2 for a huge damage buff, picked up the Blossom Kite Shield for better stamina regeneration in the Lost Bastille right after the elevator that takes you to the Lost Dinner. I progressed Lucatiel's quest in order to get her help in the Ivory King fight, even though I ended up abandoning the summon strategy as it made the fight too much erratic. I tried out the new gear and it was promising, but not quite good enough. I needed a lot of souls though to make it work, so I began gathering as many bonfire ascetics as I could. First, I went through Navlon's quest, and I began farming the Rotten for souls in order to get beefier. I also revived the Looking Glass Knight to get the Ring of Steel Protection +2. Unfortunately, burning the Ascetic bring back the Godskin duo and Big Booty Nashandra, so I had to fight them again. Luckily, with the power of cheese, the duo turned out to be pretty easy. Just run towards Old Gramps and bait an attack before running to the left corner. Wait with your shield up for the Watch to do her 3-hit combo attack and watch her take a swim with the Dragon Rider. I re-killed Nashandra, which turned out to actually be a challenge because who would have thought that a boss that drains your health in a no healing run would actually turn out to be a problem. But my damage was solid, so I managed to finish her off. All this made my damage really good. However, I was so close yet so far, as I still struggled to reach the Ivory King consistently. Mind you, this that you're seeing was the 5th time I actually managed to fight him over all of my attempts. So yeah, I suck. I mean, this game sucks. This was also around the time where I gave up and decided to use the Ring of Binding since I did finish up all of my human effigies. Trust me, this was desperate, guys. I convinced Creighton to give up the keys to his secret stash and got the engraved gauntlets, which gives a 5% chance of turning an attack into a critical hit, which isn't much on its own, but it does add up. And it also is a possibility of dealing more damage, so no reason not to have them on. Then I began farming the run over and over for the 2nd time in this run in order to upgrade my faith and attunement so I could use Sacred Oath, which increases attack and defenses for me and my bro, so essential for my success. Because remember, you can't spell success without sucks. I also had to revive Belstad because I consumed his soul sometime during the run, and I needed that to trade it with Strafe so I could get the miracle. Finally, after a lot of farming, I reached the right amount of attunement I needed. And you're probably saying I could have used some rings to increase my spell slots, but that would have meant I had to sacrifice a more important ring for it, which didn't really seem worth it. And this miracle proved to be extremely effective. Reaching the Ivory King phase became way easier. My damage was so high, in fact, that I managed to not get hit a single time during the Gang Squad phase. And finally now, I could go on and face the real sin of this game. Aldia, my least favorite final boss of any Souls game I've ever played. But for this fight, I decided to round up all of my buddies and went to town on the magical tree.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. Seek misery. The curse is a part of life itself. No one will ever be rid of it. And so there is only one choice. To await a worthy monarch.
Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you had some fun watching the video. If you did, please consider helping support the channel by subscribing. As I said, I'm reaching almost 13,000 subs, and it would be amazing reaching that with a Dark Souls 2 video. By the way, all of this shit talking about this game was mostly for fun and trolling. I truly love it, and I actually had a lot of fun despite the setbacks and difficulties of the run. I invite you to try it out if you find this game to be a little bit too easy. Alright guys, that's all I've got for today. You can now go back watching a video about the newly released Epstein files.